In 1999, deep in the sprawling deserts of Nevada, a stretch of asphalt became the stuff of nightmares. It was U.S. Route 50, a road so desolate it was nicknamed the loneliest road in America. For those who dared to drive it, especially after sundown, a common warning was passed around in hushed tones at truck stops and diners: beware the man on the side of the road. Truck drivers, hardened by thousands of miles on the road, would share stories. They'd say that if you drove too long into the dead of night, your headlights might catch a solitary figure standing by the road, his arm raised, waving for help. But here's the chilling part. They'd always add that the man you saw was never alive. He was a ghost, a specter tied to the asphalt, forever seeking something he could never get back. His name, they whispered, was Earl Henson. Back in the day, Earl was one of them, a long-haul truck driver. But in 1987, his world shattered. A tragic accident on this very same highway claimed the lives of his entire family. The grief didn't just break his heart. It shattered his mind. The road that had taken everything from him became his obsession, his personal hunting ground. Earl transformed into something else entirely. His methods were eerily precise, almost ritualistic. He never operated in towns or cities, never got close to the reassuring glow of a gas station. His chosen territory was the abyss, the stretches of Route 50, where there was no light, no cell signal, and absolutely no chance of help arriving anytime soon. He drove an old, beat-up red tow truck. It was the perfect disguise. He'd park it on the shoulder, hoot up a lone figure seemingly in need of assistance. It was a trap, baited with the promise of common decency. Kind-hearted travelers, seeing a fellow motorist in trouble, would pull over to help. That's when Earl's true work began. He'd offer them a warm smile and a cup of coffee or a bottle of water to ward off the desert heat. But the kindness was a lie. The drinks were laced. Once his victims were unconscious, he'd take their wallets, specifically their IDs, and then drive them miles off the main road, deep into the unforgiving desert. There, under the vast, indifferent sky, he would bury them in the sand, leaving no trace. Then came Jason and Claire. They were a young couple, full of life and dreams, heading west to start a new life in California. They were excited, mapping out their journey, completely unaware they were driving straight into a predator's web. They were last seen refueling their car just before hitting the loneliest stretch of Route 50. Then they vanished. When the Nevada Highway Patrol found their car, the scene was unsettling. It was parked on the shoulder, the engine still humming, headlights cutting through the darkness, illuminating nothing but empty road. The doors were unlocked, but Jason and Claire were gone. It was as if they had been plucked from the vehicle mid-journey. On the dashboard, investigators found a road map. Red lines were drawn across their intended route, a frantic, angry scrawl. But it was the message written across the top that sent a shiver down everyone's spine. Crude block letters, it read, "You drive too far, and the road drives you back." The search for Jason and Claire intensified, but the desert holds its secrets tight. Weeks turned into a month, with no sign of the couple. The case was growing cold, another mystery swallowed by the vast emptiness of Nevada. Then, a breakthrough. A hiker, exploring an area near an abandoned truck stop miles from where the car was found, stumbled upon something odd. A patch of disturbed earth. Curious, he started digging and uncovered a shallow grave. But it wasn't bodies he found. It was a small, leather-bound wallet. Inside, police found a collection of driver's licenses. There were 7 of them, each belonging to a person reported missing from 5 different states over the last decade. All of them had last been seen traveling through Nevada. Finally, the disappearances were connected. Earl Henson wasn't just a ghost story. He was a very real monster. The wallet had slots for 8 cards. 7 were filled with the faces of the lost. But the eighth space was empty. It was waiting. Waiting for the next victim, the next traveler to take pity on a man stranded on the loneliest road in America. The discovery led investigators back to Earl Henson. They learned about his past, the tragedy, and his descent into madness. They found his old red tow truck rusting away behind a dilapidated farmhouse, just as the legends described. But Earl himself was gone. He had vanished as completely as his victims. Some say he finally succumbed to the desert he knew so well. Others believe he just moved on, taking his twisted game to another lonely highway, another dark stretch of road. But the locals, the ones who have lived with the legend for years, they have a different theory. They say Earl never left. They say on a moonless night, if you're brave enough or foolish enough to drive us Route 50, you might still see him. A silhouette against the starlight, a hand raised in a desperate plea. They say he's still out there, searching for one last soul to fill that empty 8th slot in his collection. The ghost of Earl Henson and the road became one, a permanent fixture of the desert's dark folklore. So if you ever find yourself driving through the Nevada desert at night and you see a lone figure by the road, you have a choice. You can be the Good Samaritan. Or you can remember the story of Earl Henson. Push your foot down on the gas and just keep driving. Because on the loneliest road in America, some calls for help are best left unanswered. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into the dark side of the open road, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories from the shadows. Stay safe out there, and see you in the next video.